What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's project, our Jeep Cherokee XJ race car, modded in by Payne. But before we jump into this, I've got a few little announcements. First off, thank you for bearing with for the past week while I've been away with a winter virus, I'm going to call it. I've been a bit unwell, but mostly I've had such a sore throat. I have not been able to speak. At one point, it was all swollen and it was really sore. But yes, I'm on the way to being better. Not quite fully there. Still get a bit of a sore throat and a little bit of a lingering cold. But apart from that, I'm doing all right now. And before we jump into this, one more. The last announcement is congratulations to Sonic Fear winning the competition. Sadly, I never got to enter a beautiful Lamborghini Gallardo. But I will be building the one I was going to enter in the next video. So we're going to crack on with that. But congratulations, Sonic Fear. You did an absolute beautiful job with that Dubai Edition SV. Looking stunning. Beautiful, beautiful work. Well done to everyone who took part. We've got a new one up and running already. Get in there and vote. Or get in there and get your car picked. The competition has started at time of recording, but we don't know what car we're building yet. The competition's still in there. But by the time this goes out, that will be done and sorted, ready for you to go and see what it is and go and build that beautiful car. But let's get back on with today's video and this beautiful Jeep Cherokee XJ. Now, this one is pretty epic. We got it from the junkyard. It's in very bad condition, but we don't mind that at all. I also did get a little bit of a good deal. I bought it for $14,970 and could sell it for $16,027, making a profit of $1,057 before we begin. And we do like that indeed. The engine in this one currently is the V8 double overhead cam supercharged engine. Now, I am going to swap it. I'm just still undecided as to what I'm going to swap it to at the moment. It's either going to be the supercharged CGM engine or the turbocharged AXK engine. Probably going to go for the turbo AXK, but again, still not fully decided. So we'll come to that one in a bit. But before we do anything else, this absolutely filthy Jeep needs to head over to the car wash, get cleaned up. So let's do that and let's get going. Here we are then with the Jeep Cherokee in the car wash. Let's get it cleaned up. Off you go. You can see on the trailer, the Lamborghini Gallardo is already sat there waiting for the next episode. Lovely looking Jeep. Very slammed down and very rusty. It is in a terrible, terrible condition apart from this carbon fiber hood because carbon fiber doesn't rust. So there we go. Let's get the interior done. Get it back on the lift. Get everything stripped out and decide which engine we are going to put in this beast. The race car Jeep's up in the air. Let's take a look underneath. We've got to drain the oil if there's an oil pan. There isn't, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's get in and have a look. It doesn't look like it's four-wheel drive. No, rear-wheel drive only. So let's jump on down. We need to get this big drive shaft out of here. Out you come with just your one little rusty bolt just to get us back into the swing of things. And there's another one. Not too bad at all. There we go. That looks like the starter's missing to me. Just double check that it is. I'm going to add that to the shopping list so we don't forget it. And then let's get this gearbox out of here and rip this big old engine out of here. And yeah, I have decided I am going to swap it to the turbocharged V8. It's going to be pretty epic. That's what we're going to go in. But first off, we need to rip that supercharged block out of there. So let's go and get that out. Over we go and grab the engine crane. Out you come. Did I forget anything? I did not. We're always happy with that. Get that crane put away. And now, do we have anything to actually strip out of this engine bay? A little bit left of the fuse box and this air filter here. But we are missing quite a lot. We're missing the battery, obviously the rest of the fuse box, a big old radiator there, power steering reservoir, cheeky little ECU hidden up here. All of the clips for the air filter, wishy-washy, brake servo, and a fuel tank and fuel pump down there, along with the coolant reservoir if I did miss that one. So we're going to get all of this sorted, all of it stripped out. We don't need to see any of this be drained down, and there's no liquids to drain out. So I'm going to crack on and get everything stripped. By the time we come back, we will already know which engine we're going to be putting in it, and everything will be stripped out. We'll be working on the bodywork. That's everything repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back on the Jeep Cherokee, looking absolutely beautiful. Let's start stripping all of this off, though. We need to get all of this bodywork sorted out. What have we got where? That doesn't look like anything. That's a door, so we'll get that and the window out. There isn't a lot on this by the looks of this. Looks pretty bare. We're not sure what things are parts, though, so let's just keep going around. I did just completely miss that obvious tail light, though. Is that everything? I don't believe it. I mean, it might be. Let's get in and get the interior out as well. Out we come. Is it just the one front seat? It is. Race car edition. Makes a lot of sense. That's enough from there. We'll double check if we've got everything. 1% on that screen. That's always a good sign. And nothing on there. So we have got everything. Brilliant. Let's get this frame all sorted out. Now, if we take a look at this, I bought the car Wrong screen. Bought the car for 15,000 just under, and the condition of the frame is 1%. I don't think it's going to sell for a massive amount. I'm going to go for a standard 500. 1,500, way, way, way off. Let's take the shop out for the Jeep Cherokee. There are a few different front bumper options. As you can see there, that's the race car one that we're going with today. And then you've got some big beefy ones. We've got the front ends. We've got ones with no logos on at all, just down here, completely like debadged. And we got this blacked out bumper up here looking pretty good. A few different door options, shaved door handles. I like them, with the side molding and without. And then we got more bits for the front fenders there with the side molding, with an exhaust. It's not called an exhaust, it's called a snorkel. We'll go with that instead. Painted flares, non-painted flares, so on and so forth on there. Wide body as well. More doors, more of the other side of them panels. Then we've got couple of different hood options. Headlights and tail lights are just what they are. 2 rear bumpers. Doors, you get pretty much the same options. Side molding, no molding, and shaved door handles, which I do like. Then the rear wide arches, you can have them with the side molding, without the side molding, painted, not painted, and wide body, so on and so forth. Looking pretty cool. Think that's all of it. Oh, a couple of different trunk options, debadged. It's got something written on it there. I can't see it from here, obviously. A couple of windshields that have some roof rack options on them. Not what we're going for today with the race car, so we just go for the normal one. There we go. Let's get this all sorted, get it all back together, then head over to the paint shop and pick today's colour. Time to get this race car Jeep all back together, or as I will be calling it, the drag Jeep. Let's start with the hood. I've kept both. I haven't repaired this one yet. This is the carbon fibre one. We're just going to pick the plain one on it and see what it looks like with some colours or liveries. I may change it. Front end, we've gone for the blacked out badging on the front end, looking pretty good. And obviously that race car front bumper. In with the headlights, in you go. Front fenders, now these are obviously all the wide body. You can't choose between painted and non-painted, so they're going on there in painted in the wide body. Windscreen, in you go, no roof rack on there. In with the door, Shaved handles, no trim, looking pretty good. Windows in, mirrors in. Let's just get you done as well, and you done as well. And then this wide body painted flare down the back there, slipping around to the other side. Let's get these doors in we go, in we go. On with the windows, mirrors, and all of these little governy bits. In we go, and back on with that wide body flare at the other side. Trunk piece, in you go, debadged, no badging at all on there. And then obviously we've got the tail lights, they just are what they are. And the trunk window, the rear bumper, I've gone with this one. I don't know what to expect. I'm hoping it's just going to colour with whatever livery we choose. Looking pretty good. Plates-wise, we've gone for drag Jeep on the BM plates. Looking pretty good on there. Front and back, in we go. And let's get some of this interior in and see if we have got everything. So the seat I've swapped out. I've gone for the F-type seat. I quite like it. Don't really use it very often. I want to see what it looks like when we colour it. Steering wheel I kept as it was in the steering wheel 8 there. And that, I believe, is it. Let's just double check we have got everything. 100%, 100%, 100%. Fantastic. Let's get this little beast over to the paint shop and decide what we're going to do today. There we are, all done painting with the Jeep Cherokee Racecar, or drag Jeep as we are calling it. Looking absolutely fantastic. Looking very much like the banana from Matt's Off-Road Recovery, but just a bit more of a race version rather than a recovery version. But there we go. Loving that though. The livery on that is obviously the stripes and these front bits here painted along with the stripes down the side. These bits don't paint, so take them off and paint them separately along with the rear bumper. Although the rear bumper does get the racing stripes on it and goes yellow if you wanted to keep it like that. I did not. We've also done our lovely yellow Jaguar seat in the yellow black with some red stitching, looking pretty good, and a fully blacked out steering wheel on there, looking pretty tasty. We open up the engine bay, it is incredibly yellow in there, so we're going to have to put definitely some black on that engine block, make it really pop today. Get our first one back from being ill and being away, make it look absolutely epic. That's at least what I'm hoping for. We shall find out, but there'll be a lot of black in the engine with some yellows on the top and probably roughly the same for the suspension. Looking pretty good. We may throw in a splash of red here and there, as we do have a little bit of red stitching on our lovely little seats, but that's the base of it. Looking pretty awesome. Got a few bits painted ready to go, so let's get everything else painted ready to go back together and start getting the drag Jeep all back together, ready to tear up the drag strip. That's everything painted, ready to go back on the drag Jeep. Looking pretty good up there. Let's start getting it together. Black shocks, yellow springs, and a black cap on there. All in matte, looking pretty good. Off we come there. The whole car's pretty much in matte. There's a few bits that aren't matte just because they're forced not to be. So let's get started. The front cross member is in that matte yellow. Then we've got a matte black steering rack and a matte black front sway bar. The front knuckle is in a yellow, and then we've got the inner tie rod in a yellow and the outer tie rod in a lovely little black, alternating it. Little bit Bumblebee style. Lower suspension arm is in the black there, centralizing the two yellow pieces, giving a bit of colour in the middle. And obviously that beautiful shock in its black and yellow. Quite compressed springs, so you can't see them too much, but they are there. And then the sway bar front end link. This is in yellow, but obviously it's one of them metallic-y pieces, so it goes a little bit gold. It's not too bad. Almost forgot the rubber bushings, so let's get these in so that we don't forget them. Otherwise, I'll be wondering why the car isn't finished at the end. The axle knuckle cover is in a lovely little black, and then the wheel hub is also in a black. I didn't want the gold piece on there, the same as this. Would have been a little bit too much. Hub bearing in, and then we've got a brake disc. We've got a lovely little yellow hubcap on there. Brake pad, and then the brake calipers. What colour do you think we've done them today? I did say we might splash an extra colour. We have. They're lovely in a pearl red just on there today. There is also going to be a little bit of a splash of red somewhere else as well. But that's the front section done. Let's get down the back if I can make it. Can we make it? There we go. We can make it. Rear drive axle in a black, alternating from the front cross member. Then we got the spring cap in a yellow. The main shock in the black on there. They just look good in that black plasticky. Black spring and then a yellow cap just on top. Then we got the solid axle control arm in a lovely little yellow with the leaf spring plate in black and the two U-bolts just in yellow. Keeping the alternation of colours going pretty nicely. In we go. Don't forget the bearing, bushing, whatever you want to call it. In you go there. Then we got the main knuckle. That's in a yellow with the plate in a black, same as the front. And then the drive axle also in a lovely little black there. On we go. Brake disc, brake pad, and then a lovely pearl red brake caliper on there just to finish that all off, looking pretty sweet. When we pick the wheels later, I'm going to try and pick something that shows off a bit of that red if we can. Fuel tank's in a lovely matte yellow, and then we've got a lovely matte black fuel pump in there as well. Finishing that off, looking pretty good. We'll get on and do the exhaust a little bit later. I'm going to crack on and get the other side of the suspension all finished off. Then we're going to work on sorting out the engine bay bits. Hopefully I have bought everything. That was much earlier on when we dealt with all of that. But we'll get to that in a minute. And then we'll go build that beautiful turbocharged V8. Well, that's all the suspension finished. Looking very black and yellow with a tiny little bit of splash of red on the brake calipers. I think it really just makes it pop. Looking pretty good. But we need to sort the engine bay out. I have already started with that fuse box in there. But let's get the rest of it in. In with the battery, coolant reservoir, brake servo, wishy-washy reservoir just up here. Nip round to the other side. We got the power steering reservoir and the ECU stage 3 type A in there. The air filter is in black. Let's just get you all in, going, ready to go. All in a matte black with some lovely matte yellow clips just dotted around the outside. Hopefully they're going to look pretty sweet once we get all of this in and finished off, ready to go. And then the last piece in here, we got the radiator in a black, not a yellow for a change, with the fan housing kit in a black and then chrome yellow fans on the inside. Looking pretty sweet there. Very pleased with them. Looking fantastic. That's pretty much all of it. Obviously, the exhaust we will come to a little bit later on. Looking pretty sweet in there. Obviously, the fuse box in a black and then obviously the air intake black, but with yellow clips on it. Looking pretty sweet, and the gold fans under there. But let's go and build this turbocharged V8. Looking pretty good. On the stand already, black block, a black oil pan. All the innards already filled in. So let's just crack on with it. We're just going to start with the two engine heads. Looking very good. Matte yellow on the inside with that metallic yellow on the outside. The way the quality of life mod does it, which is a bit of a shame. Spark plugs to go in and line you all up. In you go there. Let's just get the other engine head on. I don't know why I did that. I don't normally do that. Let's just get these on and then we'll do what we normally do and get all of the innards filled up in a minute. So you can see there's loads of spark plugs. We've also got 4 camshafts to go in, cam gears to go on them as well, and the rest of the spark plugs. So I'll get that done and I'll be back in just a second. There we go. That's all the cam gears, spark plugs, and camshafts in. Let's move down the front. We got a couple of timing belts to go in. In you go, and in you go. And then a lovely yellow, matte yellow timing cover just on the front, finishing that piece off. The water pump's also in a lovely little matte yellow in there. I'll get all the idle rollers and stuff in a minute. The alternator in a lovely black on this side. And the power steering pump also in a black on this side. So let's get on and get all of these bits in the innards done. They're all in black, so I'm just going to get all of these finished off, and I'll be back in a second. There we go. All the idle rollers and stuff in there. Let's get these belts in. We got a black serpentine belt over here with a black belt tensioner. And then on this other side, another black serpentine belt with the last black idle roller in there just to finish it off. Oil filters just down here in a lovely yellow, hopefully matching in with the block. Then the fuel filter, we've kept it in a red for a change. There's a bit of a splash of the red there. Head covers, these are in the matte black, looking pretty good on top of there. Very, very pleased with them. We have got some lovely little coils, ignition coils to go in these. We'll get them done in a little bit. On the other side with the other head cover, in we go there, all bolted up and ready to go. And then we need to get these central pieces all in. So, for example, we've got the lovely intake manifold in there in a proper bright yellow. Fuel rails in the red. That's the second splash of red on the engine, looking pretty good. And then the exhaust manifolds down here, which are blacked out. And yes, pretty much the rest of the exhaust is all blacked out as well. There's a couple of bits that aren't, and I will show you in just a moment. But before we get them on, I'm going to crack on and get all of these coils finished. So I'll get these done. There we go. All the ignition coils in. I've left them in their standard colour because they're going to get covered by a lovely yellow coil cover anyway. Finishing that off looking pretty good. We nip round to the back. We've got a lovely black throttle just going on there, finishing it off. And then the two turbochargers. They're in a beautiful looking yellow on there. Really just finishing that one off. Really like that. Very, very pleased with it. Looking absolutely fantastic. That's it for this twin turbo V8 engine. Finished, built, ready to go. I'm going to grab some pictures and then we'll get it dropped in our race car Jeep Cherokee. Honestly, this twin-turbo V8 is definitely my favourite engine from the Drag Racing DLC, but it may also be my favourite engine in the game. So let's go and see how good it looks inside our Jeep Cherokee race car. In you go. Hopefully this is going to look pretty epic with the black and yellow and the splash of red. I almost forgot about that, but that is looking very cool in there. Very, very pleased with that. Just enough black and yellow. Not too yellow. Obviously, we've got a very yellow engine bay, but we did lots of the ancillary stuff coloured in black, so you can really see it. Really making it pop, but let's get it up in the air. We got the exhaust gearbox and the drive shaft to go in yet, so let's get underneath. Under we go. We'll start. I don't want to start there. I want to start with this lovely gearbox. Kept this one in a matte black. Hopefully, it looks pretty good. It looks good on there. Sometimes it's just a bit boring sticking with a matte black, but the starter is in a lovely matte yellow on there to finish it off. Then we've got this beautiful drive shaft, which is in the yellow, but this goes metallic, so it's a bit gold, but we don't mind. It still looks very, very good in there, into the black front and back. Then we got all of the exhaust. This is all in black, so let's get it all in. And we swapped the engine, which means these don't quite line up how they properly should, but that's just one of them things when you swap engines in this game. Let's get all the exhaust in, all blacked out, and then we've got some lovely rough marks on these end pieces, looking pretty good in there. I did think they were a different colour for a minute there, but it's just the way the light hits them. But that's it. I'm going to get the wheels done, liquids topped up, windows tinted, and then we'll get this beautiful race Jeep Cherokee outside in the sun, all finished, ready to go drag racing. Here we are then, all finished with the drag Jeep modded in by Payne. A link in the description below if you want to grab this one. As always, looking absolutely beautiful in the black and yellow colour combination. Very, very pleased with this one. Looking fantastic. One thing I will say, I'm just going to show it now, and it'll be the only time I show it, is the stuff does tick through the bottom. You got a bit of wheel in there, bit of suspension on there, and a little bit of the exhaust. But that's it. Not too bad, considering how slammed this is compared to the normal one. I don't have a normal one with me, otherwise I would show it to you. Pretty epic, looking pretty fantastic. But let's talk about these beautiful rims we've got on this beautiful car here. These are the Rim Modern 2B. Looking fantastic in their two-tone. Definitely used these ones before. The front rims here, they are a 15-inch rim with a 325 width and a 25 profile on there. And just about see the pearl red brake calipers sticking through. Not too visible. Down the back, they're a little bit bigger, but not by a lot. Still a 15-inch rim, but a 355 width with a 30 profile on there. So a little bit bigger, but still looking absolutely fantastic. Let's jump inside, check out the interior. Obviously, we've got the Jaguar F-Type seat in its triple colour, black, red, and yellow on there, looking good. And the steering wheel just in a solid black. Not the grey that it normally comes with, but the rest of the interior in here, all this tan or brown interior work looks absolutely beautiful. Excellent work by Payne as normal. But let's get this one started and hear that twin-turbo V8. There it is. Lovely grumble on this one. Beautiful sounding. When we go to the top end, And you've got that turbo whistle just there. Just what I like to see. Absolutely beautiful. But let's get the drag Jeep onto the dyno, see what horsepower it's got and what its drag rating is. Here we are then on the dyno with our twin turbo V8 Jeep Cherokee Racecar Edition. Slammed down 910 factory horsepower from that V8 engine. How much have we added today and what is our drag rating? Let's have a look. A gain of 1,118 horsepower, 123%, absolutely incredible. 2,028 horsepower is the new measured total for this beautiful race car Jeep Cherokee with a drag rating of a 999. Let's go and have a look at the gearbox tuning setup for today. There she is, 2.5 ratio, 105 kilometers an hour in first gear, up to 530 in seventh. And if I'm honest, if this would go straight all of the time, it would smash that 530 with ease. Add 2 more gears to this, no problem at all. As it is, pitting the twin turbo V8 in the Jeep Cherokee Racecar Edition, it is impossible to keep this thing straight. Apart from, if you remember, many moons ago when the drag racing DLC first came out, I did a little video where I showed that with certain tunes, if you just start the race as normal and go, you'll spin out and there's nothing you can do about it. But if you cross over the central line into the other person's lane and then restart, you'll get a perfect run guaranteed every time without any wheel spin. Same situation here. Obviously, in a tournament, that doesn't work. So this should be a bit of fun. Fully tuned ECU Stage 3 ready to go, giving us a gain of 16% and no carburetors on this one. So let's get over to the drag strip. Let's see what we can do. Here we are then, back at the drag strip with our Jeep Cherokee Racecar Edition. Let's get into it. King of the Sands, 1 mile, A-class. Pay the entry fee. Who have we got in here today? King Slowpoke, nice to see you in a version 3. Hoonicorn. Who else have we got down here? That looks to be a country thing. And there you are in the electric Ferrari 250. Our first race is against the Dodge Charger 777. Quite a hard race anyway. But we might not be able to even finish it with this Jeep Cherokee, as it is almost impossible to keep straight. Let's go and see how we can do and if we can even get across the finish line. Yellow and white versus black and yellow, looking pretty good on the start line. I do love that Dodge Charger 777. Did pretty well in it ourselves, but can we beat it in our Jeep Cherokee race car? Let's find out. Let's go. Off the line, doing all right. Into second, into third. Fifth gear is about when we should start hearing it spin. When we get into there, you can just hear it picking up there, and now it's almost impossible to drive. Let's just keep trying. Let's get it into sixth, see if we can stabilize a little bit. Then into seventh. I just want to cross the finish line. Just about. That was a very much hard work. Oh, 7.613 seconds to the quarter of a mile with a speed of 313 kilometers an hour and 18.694 to the 1 mile with a top speed of 488. And if I could have keeping it straight, it would definitely have just kept going and going. The top speed on this must be absolutely insane, but that was very hard to keep that one straight. And if I'm being honest, this is my third try at a competition. I went out in the first round because I just couldn't keep it straight. Very hard to drive, but let's see who we've got next and whether we can stay in this one. Unfortunately, King Slowpoke was straight out there as well. Country Thang straight out as well. Bit of a shame, but we do have another Ferrari 250 electric, and it is our next opponent. Let's see if we can beat that one whilst keeping this Jeep Cherokee straight-ish. Looking absolutely stunning, that electric Ferrari, especially the orange and black with that red interior as we saw it rolling up. Question is, can we even cross the finish line this time in the Jeep? And can we beat that electric Ferrari? Let's go! Off the line, we did get away into second, into third, into fourth. When we change into fifth, that's when it will start spinning. You can hear it there. I'm just getting ready for it off the gas, tweaking a little bit, keeping it straight into sixth gear. Come on, little Jeep. Let's struggle and get you across the line into seventh. We did cross the line. Was that any good? A 7.597 to the quarter of a mile. Actually better than our first run. 18.716. Not as good to the 1 mile as our first run. And our first run with a better top speed of 488. But I'm just happy we managed to keep it on the track and get across the finish line. These times would be a lot better if this could carry on going straight. Let's find out who's next. I'm so surprised we've made it this far. It is actually unbelievable. This thing is so hard to drive, but it is so quick. I just think it's outpacing everything else. Next up, though, we've got the Ford Mustang RTR Unicorn version 4. Hopefully, we can beat that one across the line. There's also a Dodge Charger 777 still in and a version 2 Unicorn ready to see who's going to be in the final. Beautiful version 4 Unicorn there. Rest in peace, Ken Block. We'll forever be saying that whenever we see a Unicorn in the game. Won't be able to help it. But can we beat this one across the line? Can we keep the Jeep straight? Let's find out. Let's go. Come on, little Jeep. Off the line. I always like to see that. Into second, into third, and then into fourth. Now's when it starts getting dubious. Into fifth gear, spinning, and there we go. Already spinning us out. We'll go into sixth. Whoa! Managed to not cross the line there. No idea how. We'll go into seventh gear. Come on, little Jeep. Cross the line. We did actually make it. I'm so shocked at this. That we're even getting it there. But there we go. 7.588 to the quarter of a mile. Our new top speed. Not too bad with an 18.571, which is also our new top speed to the 1 mile as well. Shame 475 isn't our highest top speed overall, but still a very good one to get on the speeder board. Well, there we have it. Time to face in the final. I still can't get over the fact that we even made it here, but there we go. Ford Mustang Unicorn version 2 is our final opponent. Let's get in and see if we can win this final race. I'm still surprised we got here. Well, there it is. Another Unicorn, the version 2 this time. Rest in peace. God rest your soul. Can we beat this one down the track in our final race and take all of the winnings? I certainly hope so. Let's go. Come on, little Jeep. Off the line. We did manage to get that into second, into third. Let's just get up to fifth and then start worrying about keeping this thing straight there. We'll go into sixth first as well. Oh, that was difficult. Keep it going. Come on. No. There we go. We'll go into seventh. Let's just keep this going and try and get it across the line. Wow. I think we actually managed to top out at 500 kilometers an hour. We did indeed. Is this last run our absolute best? 7.448 by a long way to the quarter of a mile and 18.202. Same again to 1 mile with a top speed of 500 kilometers an hour. Glad to get in and get this epic time down for our very, very last run, which does mean we're going to be able to take the winnings. There we go. 11,250 winnings. Nice to be back in it. So surprised at that. So hard to drive, but we still managed to achieve it nonetheless. Obviously, take away our entry fee. Already in profit of 10,250. Let's get this one back to the garage. Let's see where we end up on the speeder board and if we end up in the top 10 and get ready to say goodbye to this beautiful Jeep Cherokee Racecar edition. Well, there we have it from the Jeep Cherokee Racecar, the impossible-to-handle machine on the drag strip, coming in second place. Absolutely incredible. 2,028 horsepower, 7.448 seconds to the quarter of a mile. So close to beating my design there. This isn't by choice. If I could have driven that better, trust me, I would have. I found them drag races very annoying. 1 mile at 18.202 seconds with a top speed of 500 kilometers an hour or 311 miles per hour, rounded to the nearest whole number. Pretty epic on there, and obviously its final race there was against the version 2 Unicorn. Absolutely epic. Can't believe we managed to stay in, win, and get second on the speeder board. Absolutely incredible. Let's go check it out and get ready to say goodbye. There it is. Well, it came in as second on the speeder board. I am so very impressed with that. Wasn't expecting that at all, if I'm being honest. But let's talk some facts and figures about this beautiful drag Jeep, or the Jeep Cherokee Racecar edition. I bought the car for $14,970 and could have sold it for a profit right at the beginning, making $1,057, which isn't too bad at all. But I've since spent another $72,292 modifying, upgrading, and painting this beautiful car to how you see it today. Looking absolutely fantastic in here, if I'm being truly honest. But it does put our total spend at $87,262, which is pretty good. But the truth is, can we make a profit? And there is only one way to find out. Let's have a look. Can we make a profit from this beautiful Jeep? There it is, all 100% complete. That engine now wrapped up to 2,028 horsepower. From 910, we did swap it out to the TRS, the twin-turbo AXK engine. A pretty epic one in there. But can we make some money? Yes, we can, with a total sale price of $197,152. Much better than I thought it was going to be, if I'm being honest. the world price made me think it was going to be over 100,000, but I didn't think by a lot. So 197,152 is quite a lot. Take away our spend of 87,262, leaves us with a profit of 109,890, plus our drag strip winnings of 10,250 minus our entry fee, obviously, is 120,140 total profit from this beautiful Jeep Cherokee. I really have enjoyed this one today. It has been awesome. But it is time to say goodbye. Off you go, Jeep. Once again, link in the description below if you want this one, or you can just head over to Steam Workshop and search for Jeep. Very easily found. Off you go. A nice bit of profit back to us. Back over 24 million. We already know what's coming up next. It is the Lamborghini Gallardo. Absolutely fantastic. Now, this one is a bit of a combination of two. This is the Purple Edition. Virtual Mechanic Purple Edition. So there's a few changes from the base one and nothing too fancy. And we do have a little bit of a livery to go on this one as well. Didn't really change much of this one, if I'm being honest. I built it when I was very, very ill and just, yeah, wasn't really feeling it. But I still wanted to do something because I was intending to film it and release it on the day it was supposed to. But yeah, then my throat swelled up and I couldn't speak. So we skipped out all of that. And sadly, I had a week off. I say sadly, I quite enjoyed having a week off. As much as I felt awful the whole way through it, it was quite nice to take a week away. So maybe we'll see a bit more of that in future, but I will pre-record episodes for you guys so that you don't have to miss out like you did then. I'm hoping to never do anything like that ever again. But anyway, this is for next time. Let's just have a look at it. It's the Purple Edition Virtual Mechanic, as I'm calling it. We didn't change the engine. I kept it in the V10 MT8 engine with 728 factory horsepower. But did I get a good deal on this one? I did. 65,175 is what I paid, and I can sell it for 72,223, making a cushy little profit of 7,048 before we even begin. Very, very happy with that. But this is for next time. And that's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Beautiful Lamborghini coming up next. We are trying to get to 500 subscribers before my birthday, which is beautifully on the 19th of February. So if we can get there, I'm going to build an epic drag strip fire truck from Payne's fire truck that's only available through his Patreon. So if you don't have that, there will be a link to get it when we get there. But that's it for today's video. And again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a beautiful day, whatever you're getting up to in the world. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.